Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden. It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks under the direction of Al Lewis. Well, many of us like to share Easter breakfast with our friends. Our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, looked forward all week to sharing hers with several of her students and some of the faculty.
Some of the faculty being biology teacher Philip Boynton. Yes, Mr. Boynton is enough of the faculty for me. At least I hope he's for me. I know I'm for him. So much for the world of sports. Saturday afternoon found me making arrangements for the big day in my landlady's kitchen.
You certainly look domestic, bustling around that stove, Connie. Tell me, what was it you just plopped into that pot of boiling water?
My thumb, Mrs. Davis. Oh, you mean the white thing. That was an egg. They've got to get nice and hard before we can dye them. By the way, I saw Harriet Conklin helping you with our Easter baskets before. Where did our beloved principal's daughter disappear to?
I sent her to the grocery store for some more eggs and some dye. We were running short. Harriet is certainly a sweet little girl.
Yes, she is. Just goes to show you how little there is to heredity. Let's see those Easter baskets again. Plenty of straw, jelly beans, little yellow chicks. There's just one more thing I'd like to see in each one.
What's that, Connie?
A chocolate bunny with a $1,000 bill in his mouth.
I'm afraid that's asking a little too much.
All right, then. I'll settle for a wax bunny.
I'm back, Mrs. Davis. Hi, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Harriet. Did you get the stuff?
Yes, ma'am. Here's the dye, and I got a couple of dozen eggs.
Good. Let's put some more of these in to boil.
I'll do it. What's the schedule for tomorrow, Miss Brooks? When do you want us to come for breakfast?
Oh, about 10 o'clock will be fine, Harriet. Then we'll all be on time for the Easter parade.
I'll bet you'll look stunning, Miss Brooks. What kind of an outfit are you wearing this year?
Well, in some ways, it's quite similar to the outfit I wore last Easter.
How do you mean, Miss Brooks?
Same hat, coat, dress, and shoes. I did invest in something new, though. A Gossard narrow-line girdle.
Does it really make you look narrow, Connie?
Narrow? When I stand sideways, you can't see me at all. I like to think.
Oh, that reminds me. I'd better get over to the cleaners and pick up Daddy's Easter outfit. You know how meticulous he is when he appears in public.
He's not only meticulous, he's impeccable.
He's not only impeccable, he's impossible. I mean impatient. So you better run along now, Harriet.
Okay, Miss Brooks. See you tomorrow. Bye, Mrs. Davis.
Goodbye, dear, and thanks for the help. Now, you'll probably want to wash up after you mix that dye, Connie, so I'll get some clean towels for the pantry sink.
Thanks, Mrs. Davis. Da-da-dum-dee-dee-dee-dee. Come on in. The door's open.
It is I, Miss Brooks, your own personal Easter bunny.
At last. Just drop the $1,000 bills in the basket. Oh, it's Walter Denton.
Tell me that I'm in time, Miss Brooks. Tell me that you didn't dye your eggs yet.
You're in time, Walter. I didn't dye my eggs yet.
Thank goodness. Miss Brooks, just before the holidays, I hit on a new dye in the chem lab at school that's absolutely sensational.
A new dye?
Yes, ma'am. That's why I'm so glad you didn't color your eggs yet. I want you to do it with my stuff. It's absolutely dynamite.
Walter, I just want the Easter eggs to look pretty, not blow up.
Miss Brooks, you get a load of this stuff. It'll revolutionize the egg dyeing industry. I'll make millions out of this. Billions. And you, Miss Brooks, will get my everlasting gratefulness.
That's my usual cut.
I call this magic dye Tint Tomorrow.
Tint Tomorrow?
Yeah, I took the two words tint and tomorrow and made a word marriage out of it.
Well, I hope they'll be very happy together. Just how does this stuff work, Walter?
Well, it's a powder, Miss Brooks, but a delayed action powder. In other words, when you dye an egg with Tint Tomorrow, no color change takes place at all today.
It doesn't?
Naturally not. It changes its tint
tomorrow.
That's why I
Call it Tint Tomorrow. Well, that was fun. What'll we do now?
I brought over these sample eggs that I dyed yesterday, Miss Brooks. Look, red, blue, green, purple. Aren't they beautiful?
They are nice, Walter. Very brilliant. Is this invention of yours easy to apply?
Well, easier than that old-fashioned stuff. These 2 bags will dye 12 eggs each. And now, look, I've got to get downtown on an errand for my folks, so I'll just leave these 4 extra bags by your pantry sink on my way out.
Well, I'll certainly be happy to try it, Walter.
Remember, Miss Brooks, I haven't got this invention patented yet, so you mustn't breathe a word about it. In fact, I must insist on an oath of secrecy.
Walter, I won't even tell the eggs.
Here are the clean towels, Connie. I'd have come back sooner, but I was on the phone with Mrs. Conklin. She's got a problem, poor dear.
I know. I work for him.
Oh, I don't mean Mr. Conklin. She's worried about parading in the sun tomorrow morning. She says she gets a lot of freckles that way.
Oh, that's as good a way as any. What did you recommend?
Some of this remarkable face cream I got at the beauty parlor last week. It's called Freckle Off.
Freckle Off? This is a big day for me. First Tint Tomorrow, then Freckle Off. Tint Tomorrow and Freckle Off. Sounds like a Polish piano team.
Here, just let me rub a little on your chin, dear.
Oh, but Mrs. Davis,
It'll do you a world of good. Just this one little dab. There.
I was about to tell you that I don't have any freckles on my chin.
I can see that. But isn't it comforting to know that now you'll never have any?
It's a security I never dreamt of. Mrs. Davis, would you mind taking these baskets into the living room? I've still got some work to do in here.
Certainly, dear. Oh, look who's coming down the driveway, Connie. It's one of your pupils, Stretch Snodgrass.
Oh, you mean the brain?
The brain? Why do you call him that?
I keep hoping that if I just say the word often enough, he'll grow one. I'm in the kitchen, Stretch.
I'll go finish decorating the living room, Connie.
All right, Mrs. Davis.
Hi, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Stretch.
Well, the reason I come over, Miss Brooks, is I brung you something.
Stretch, you brought me something.
You seen it through the window, huh?
No, Stretch, I saw it through the window.
Oh, then you know what it is I've brang.
I brang?
Well, that's the past participian of has brung.
Oh, I forgot. What sort of thing did you brung? A thing? Let's see it.
It's right in this basket. See? A rabbit.
But it's a real one. Is he alive?
Oh, of course not. I brought him over from my father's pet shop. He's been preserved.
You mean you mounted it?
No, I rode him over on my bicycle.
But Stretch, what am I supposed to do with a stuffed rabbit?
Oh, I thought he'd make a nice centerpiece for your table tomorrow morning.
Oh.
If I say so myself, this is quite a good example of taxi...
You never can get one when it's raining. Well, thanks for the rabbit, Stretch. It was very sweet of you to bring it. But before you go, what's that big smudge on your face?
Oh, that's from falling off my bike, I guess. I took a shortcut through the meadow.
Well, there's a sink in the pantry. You can wash in there. Here, take these towels in with you.
Towels? Ain't you got no shower curtain?
We use towels here. It's a new fad. And Stretch, if the soap dispenser's empty, you'll find some powder to fill it with in the cupboard.
Okay, Miss Brooks.
I've got to carry these empty egg boxes out to the incinerator, Stretch. See you later.
Nice little pantry. Well, I guess this thing is a soap dispenser, all right. Let's see now. Where's the powder I'm supposed to fill it with? Oh, it must be in these 4 little bags. It says, Tint Tomorrow. Well, that's a funny name for a soap powder. Well, I'll just dump them all in the dispenser. Now I'll fill the sink with enough water to wash up with. That ought to do it.
Well, the front part of the house is all set, Connie? Everything back here all right?
Everything but me, Mrs. Davis. I've got the strangest burning sensation around my chin.
Oh, that's where I applied the freckle off. It says on the bottle that if yours is the type of skin that burns easily, you should wash the cream off with soap and water.
Now she tells me. I'll use the sink in the pantry.
I'm all finished, Miss Brooks. And here's your towels back. I didn't need them.
Didn't need them, but you washed, didn't you?
Well, what's the sense of wearing a long-sleeve shirt if you don't use the sleeves?
A well-taken point. Now, if you'll excuse me, Stretch, I've got to stop this stinging on my chin some way. I got some smudges out by that incinerator, too. I might as well do a complete wash job. Here goes.
Gosh, Miss Brooks, if my face was as pretty as yours, I'd never wash it. Boy, I'll bet you're going to be the swellest lady in the Easter parade.
Oh, I don't care about that, Stretch. All I want to do is brighten the little corner where I am.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith.
No other dentifrice offers proof of such results.
Proof that Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts.
2 years research at leading universities using Colgate Dental Cream, hundreds of case histories, makes this the most conclusive proof in all dentifrice history on tooth decay. Conclusive proof that when teeth are brushed with Colgates right after eating,
Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts.
yes, the toothpaste you use to clean your breath while you clean your teeth, now offers us 59 cents. Always use Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and
Help stop tooth decay before it starts.
remember, no other dentifrice offers proof of such results.
Well, even if Stretch Snodgrass isn't the most brilliant person in the world, Miss Brooks, who has also washed her face in Walter's dye, might easily attain that title. However, since the dye, which is still in the dispenser, requires hours of exposure before it works, Miss Brooks didn't know on Saturday afternoon what a colorful Easter she was facing.
Will you answer the doorbell, Connie? I'm just getting out of the tub.
All right, Mrs. Davis, I'll get it. Well, Mr. Conklin,
Hello, Miss Brooks.
to what fortuitous circumstance do we owe the pleasure of this visit from Madison's distinguished principal?
This is Saturday, Miss Brooks. You can cut down on the apple polishing. May I come in?
Of course.
Now then, as to the purpose of my visit, with your permission, I'll come right to the point.
Permission granted.
Thank you. As you know, the Easter parade tomorrow will be covered thoroughly by the press photographers.
Yes, I know. The photographers will greet us, and we'll find ourselves in the rotogravure.
Very catchy. In the past, I've always been quite careful about which profile to present to the camera when I'm having my picture taken. But in the parade, one never knows on which side a photographer will pop up.
And when they look you over, you will be in clover.
Oh, stop that. The reason I'm here, Miss Brooks, is because of this large, ugly freckle on my right cheek. I've always resented this freckle, Miss Brooks. It's the only blemish on an otherwise perfectly chiseled set of features.
Oh, you shouldn't be so self-conscious about it, Mr. Conklin. I've never thought of that as a large, ugly freckle. I always thought it was a dimple.
A dimple? Well...
Yes, indeed. Many's the time I've looked at you and thought, what a large, ugly dimple.
Such honesty deserves a reward, and I'll see that you get it in the school weeks to follow. Right now, I'd like to inquire about a cosmetic that my wife mentioned. She said Mrs. Davis told her about it. It's called Freckle Off, I believe.
Oh, yes, that's it, Mr. Conklin, but sometimes it... Say, that would be just the thing for you.
Well, dear, I finished and Oh, hello, Osgood.
Hello, Margaret.
Mr. Conklin was wondering if he could borrow some of your freckle-off cream, Mrs. Davis.
What for?
For his freckle.
What freckle?
This large, ugly freckle beneath my right ear.
Oh, that. I always thought that was a beauty mark.
A beauty mark? Well...
Yes, many the times I've thought to myself, what a large, ugly beauty mark. But I've got a jar of the cream right here on this table, Osgood. You're welcome to try it.
Here, let me dab it on for you, Mr. Conklin. There we are.
Say, this stuff burns. Ouch! It's hot.
Well, you wanted to remove the freckle, don't you?
Yes, but I'd like it to leave the face.
Why? I mean, if it burns too badly, you can wash it off with soap and water. Just follow me, Mr. Conklin.
Well, hurry up. This is awful.
There's a sink right out here in the pantry. I'll fill the basin for you. You'll find soap in the dispenser above the sink. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Conklin. There's somebody at the front door.
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks. My car broke down a few blocks from here. I wondered if I could use your phone to call the garage.
Of course, Mr. Boynton. Come in.
I was driving along, not a care in the world, when suddenly, boom, the transmission, the crankcase, and the drive shaft fell out.
Anything serious?
Say, it is. The car won't go at all until they...
They're running along now, Miss Brooks. Oh, hello, Boynton.
Oh, hello, Mr. Conklin. What brings you to this part of the town?
It's a long and harrowing tale, Boynton. But briefly, your friend, Miss Brooks, almost burned half of my face off with some alleged freckle remover.
Well, what did you want with freckle remover, Mr. Conklin?
Well, I thought it could remove this large, ugly freckle beneath my right ear.
You're right. Well, I always thought that was just a mole.
A mole?
Well, yes, sir. Many's the time I've thought to myself, what a large, ugly...
Oh, be quiet! Good day to you both.
Oh, Miss Brooks, before I use the phone, I'd like to wash some of the grease off my hands and face. I got pretty dirty tinkering around with the car.
Why, I didn't even notice it, Mr. Boynton. But if you'll just follow me, you can use the sink in our pantry. There's plenty of soap in that dispenser between the taps. Just help yourself.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, this ought to do the trick.
We're going to have our Easter breakfast tomorrow about 10 o'clock, Mr. Boynton. Will that be all right for you?
Easter breakfast? Oh, gee, I'm sorry, Miss Brooks. That's the reason I drove over, to tell you I can't make it tomorrow.
Can't make it? Why not?
Well, I got a wire from my folks this morning. They're visiting friends at Eagle Springs, and they asked me to join them. It's only 40 miles from here, and I thought I'd drive up in the morning. Of course, that's out of the question now. It'll take days to fix that car of mine.
Good.
But I can catch an early train. Now, tell you what, maybe you can borrow Mrs. Davis's car and you could drive me to the station in the morning.
What have I done to earn such a bonus?
For those of us who arose on time, the Easter Sunday sunrise was an awe-inspiring sight. And in Walter Denton's house, where his pal Stretch Snodgrass has had permission to spend the night, is another awe-inspiring sight. Stretch Snodgrass.
Walter. Hey, Walter, are you up?
Yeah, I'm up. Let's get dressed and...
What's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing's wrong with me. It's you. Your face looks like an Easter egg.
Easter egg? What makes you say a thing like that?
Because you're all purple. Your whole face.
Oh, what's so funny? Maybe I got high blood pressure.
Sure like to use some of that delayed action dye of mine.
Dye?
Yeah, I've been keeping it a secret. I call it tint tomorrow because the color doesn't show up until the next day.
Tint tomorrow? I thought that was soap powder. I filled the dispenser at Mrs. Davis's with it.
Yeah, well, What? Oh, gosh. I better get over there and warn Mrs. Davis before anybody else uses it.
Well, wait a minute. What about me? How do I get this purple stuff off?
Oh, quit worrying. I'll invent some way to get rid of it. And even if I don't...
Yeah?
I can always dye you another color. So you see, Mrs. Davis, Stretch filled the dispenser with the dye, and anybody that washed there is in for a shock today. Gee, I'm glad you didn't get any on you.
Me too. And I hope Connie didn't use it. She's going to take Mr. Boynton to the train this morning. She should be coming in for coffee any minute now.
Gosh, I hope everything's
I've just got time for a quick cup of coffee. Oh, hello, Walter.
Hello,
What's the trouble?
Nothing, dear. You just startled us when you came in so suddenly.
Oh. I'll get myself a cup and saucer out of the sideboard.
Look at her, Mrs. Davis. Her face is all green.
I know, but just don't blurt it out at her. We'll break it to her gently. Just keep drinking your milk.
Say, it's after 8. I'd better drink this coffee in a hurry. Mr. Boynton's making a 9:15 train.
Where's he going?
He's going to spend the day at Eagle Springs with his parents. And I don't mind telling you, I'm green with envy.
Walter, control yourself. I'll get a dish rag and... Oh, will you get that, please, Connie?
All right. Hello, Miss Brooks speaking.
Miss Brooks, this is Mr. Conklin.
Oh, happy Easter, Mr. Conklin. I guess you're getting all dolled up
Cut
for
the gab. Just answer one question, Miss Brooks. What sort of dye was in that witch's brew you smeared on my face?
Witch's brew? Which witch's brew?
You know very well which witch's brew. That freckle-removing junk you put on me.
But there's no dye in
Well,
that.
there must have been. You should see my face this morning.
You mean it's a different color?
Different color? Miss Brooks, I'm plaid. Thanks to you and your quack remedies, I look like an Italian sunset.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Conklin. I didn't have any knowledge of any
You
dye.
never have
in
any knowledge of anything. Now, hang up. I'm going to call my doctor and get to the bottom of this gook. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, what do you know about that, Walter? Mr. Conklin's face has turned all colors of the rainbow.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Brooks. I must have been thinking of something comical. I better join Mrs. Davis in the dish rag in the kitchen. Mrs. Davis, that was Mr. Conklin on the phone. He just turned plaid.
This is terrible, Walter. How are we going to get this dye off the people who washed here yesterday?
Well, I stopped at the drugstore on my way over, and Mr. Miller, the pharmacist, said he'd try and figure something out in a hurry.
Well, that's at least some hope. Now, maybe it won't be such a shock when you tell Connie her face is green.
Me? I think I better go home, Mrs. Davis.
What's the matter, Walter? Don't you feel well?
I feel like she looks. But I guess the only manly thing to do is face the music.
Come on, I'll help you break it to her in a roundabout way. Oh, Connie, about that green face of yours. Connie. Oh, she must have left while we were in the kitchen. Oh, good heavens. What will Mr. Boynton think when he sees her?
Who knows? It may be a break for her. He's always been crazy about frogs.
Coming.
Good morning,
Miss-
Mr. Mr. Boynton, what happened to your face? It's blue.
Yes, isn't it awful? I noticed it when I went in to shave this morning. When did you notice your face was green?
Huh?
Oh, no, it's not really a bad shade of green.
My face?
Oh, here, stand in front of this mirror.
Yay!
No, calm yourself, Miss Brooks. I kind of like it. Reminds me of my pet frog, McDougal.
Thanks a million. How did I get this on me?
Well, Walter Denton phoned me a few minutes ago and explained the whole thing. His pal Stretch put some of Walter's delayed dye into the soap dispenser in your pantry yesterday.
You mean the tint tomorrow really worked?
I'll say it did. It won't come off with soap and water or even turpentine. I've tried several times.
Wait till I get hold of that Stretch Snodgrass.
Well, I'm in a worse spot than you are, Miss Brooks. I've had to cancel my trip to Eagle Springs.
Good old Stretch Snodgrass. But if you're not going away today, how about coming over to my place?
Oh, no, I wouldn't budge out of this apartment with this blue face, Miss Brooks. No, I'm just going to have to stay in until it fades. I guess it's an imposition to ask, but, well, I thought maybe I could fix up a little lunch here and play some records to dance to, and, well, if it isn't asking too much, would you care to stay here and keep me company?
I'll force myself.
Oh, good. I'll go into the kitchen and see about rustling up some grub. Just make yourself comfortable.
Oh, don't worry about green face, blue face. I'll be fine. I'll get it.
Don't slug me, Miss Brooks. Everything's going to be fine.
You're so right, Walter. Goodbye.
No, wait. Mr. Boynton told me on the phone about canceling his trip, but now he won't have to.
Not so loud. What do you mean, Walter?
Well, Mr. Miller, the pharmacist, came up with these pills. You just dissolve them in warm water, and it washes the dye off like magic.
No, it does it? Hand them over, Walter. I'll take them in.
Okay, Miss Brooks. I'm sorry for what Stretch did. Well, I imagine I'll see you later on.
Far be it from me to knock a boy's imagination. Goodbye, Walter.
I'm just putting on a timely recording, Miss Brooks. You, care to dance, Miss Brooks?
Mm-hmm.
Am I holding you too tight? Mind if I hum in your ear? I'll be all in clover when they look you over. Oh, by the way, who was that at the door just now?
The door?
Oh, yeah, the bell rang as I went into the kitchen. Who was it?
Nobody we know. Happy Easter, Mr. Boynton.
Eve Arden returns in just a moment, but first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Better than a soap, better than a liquid. Luster Cream is a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair 3 ways lovelier. Fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight, yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is Eve Arden.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our sponsor, the Colgate Palmolive Peat Company, and all of us here at the studio, may I extend our warmest Easter greetings.
Next week, tune into another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis with Lester White and Joe Quillen, with the music of Wilbur Hatch under the direction of Maurice Carlton. Mr. Boynton is played by Jeff Chandler, Mr. Conklin by Gail Gordon. Others in tonight's cast were Jane Morgan, Dick Crenna, Gloria McMillan, and Leonard Smith. For a beauty bath that brings you glamour from head to toe, get Bath Size Palmolive Soap.
Yes, ladies, for a velvet smooth beauty lather that caresses your skin, leaves your whole body glowing with the warm blush of fragrant loveliness, enjoy a beauty bath with Bath Size Palmolive. It's perfect for your tub or shower. Just the gentlest massage over your body creates a glorious lather that leaves your skin delightful.
Yes, for the most luxurious bath you've ever had, get big Bath Size Palmolive Soap. For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evening over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at the same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden.
It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks under the direction of Al Lewis. Well, everyone knows that our public school system is, of necessity, a carefully budgeted operation. And our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, has some very definite ideas on the subject of economy.
Personally, I've always been a firm believer in economical living. As a school teacher, I've found that by budgeting my income, thinking ahead, and doing without certain things right now, I can count on other things later on. Little luxuries like food and shelter. But in the hands of Madison's beloved principal, Osgood Conklin, even economy can be carried too far. I was discussing the subject with my landlady last Thursday at breakfast.
So Mr. Conklin has launched another economy drive.
Drive isn't the word, Mrs. Davis. It's more of a crusade. You might not believe this, but he's rationed each teacher to one piece of chalk a day.
That's ridiculous, Connie. What do you do when the chalk wears out?
I wet my finger. I was teaching Shakespearean drama yesterday afternoon, and by 2 o'clock I was up to my cuticle in Twelfth Night.
That's terrible.
Oh, that's nothing. Today I have to stop in Mr. Conklin's office for my weekly pencil.
You mean to tell me he only gives you one pencil per week?
You don't get that unless you bring in a small bag of shavings.
My goodness. What in the world does Mr. Conklin do with pencil shavings?
I think he smokes them in his pipe. At least I hope he does. I've been mixing in chopped rubber bands with mine.
Well, if you ask me, Connie, I'd say that Osgood Conklin was penny wise and pound foolish.
If you asked me, I'd say he was all foolish and a yard wide. And his judgment's so poor. Remember the idea I had a few months ago to get a tape recorder in school so the students could play back the recordings of their own voices?
Yes, indeed. I thought that was a wonderful idea.
When I told Mr. Conklin about it, he suggested I take an aspirin. Now I read where it's being done in high schools and colleges all over the country.
I know it. Walter Denton showed me a spread just the other morning where some college professor came out and said taping was a great aid in learning English. Walter was all excited about it.
It wasn't the learning part that excited Walter. He's just gadget happy.
You're right there, Connie. When it comes to anything mechanical, that boy is a genius.
He must be. He's kept that car of his running for 5 years with the wheels held on by Blue Jay corn plasters.
That reminds me, dear. Walter phoned while you were in the shower and asked me to tell you that he won't be able to drive you to school this morning.
Oh, fine.
But you can borrow my car, Connie, if you don't mind picking it up.
Oh, where is it, Mrs. Davis?
In the garage next door to school.
Somehow I get the feeling that this isn't going to be one of my better days. Oh, thank goodness I'm on time. Now I can take my... Well, this is a switch. Pupil beats teacher to classroom. What are you doing here so early, Walter? I thought your car broke down.
No, ma'am. I just had something else to attend to. Now then, if you'll just read this, please.
What is it?
I'll tell you in a minute. Meanwhile, just read it aloud.
All right. In my opinion, which is shared, I am sure, by students and faculty alike, he is a generous and progressive-minded leader who will spare no expense to improve the teaching methods in our high schools.
There, it's finished.
What's finished? What's this box on my desk?
Well, it's a Webster Echo tape recorder, Miss Brooks, and I have just captured for posterity your true opinion of our principal.
My true opinion... My true opinion... As I was saying when I so rudely interrupted myself, my true opinion of our principal would melt the tape, Walter. But where did you get this machine, anyway?
I got it from Larkin's electrical shop. Mr. Larkin said we could use it for an indefinite trial period with absolutely no obligation.
No obligation?
Well, just a small obligation.
What is it?
We have to buy it. Yeah, he's going to call Mr. Conklin on the phone about it later today.
I don't like to start teaching before class officially begins, Walter, but you have just used two words which cannot possibly fit into one sentence.
What words?
The words buy and Conklin. He'll never authorize an expenditure like this. Why, I've got to go into an emergency conference with him this morning to see if I can get another pencil. You know if he's in his office yet?
Sure, he got here early today.
Fine, then I'll pack up my shavings in my old kit bag and run along.
One moment, Miss Brooks. If you see Harriet Conklin in her dad's office, would you kindly waft her my way? Ere the humdrum rigors of another school day begin, I long to gaze upon my delectable Delilah.
I'll send her down, Walter, but be sure to keep your cap on. Remember what happened to Samson.
I'm furious, Harriet. Absolutely furious.
Why are you furious today, Daddy?
Because of the way this... I'm not sure I like your tone, girl. Are you inferring that your father is in a constant state of ill temper?
Oh, no, Daddy. I think you have a very healthy temper. That is, I know how hard it is for you to control your nerves sometimes.
I have perfect control of my nerves. It's a wonder I have any nerves left. Things are done around here. Look at this lamp. Yesterday, I ordered a repairman from Larkin's electrical shop to come out and fix the wiring. Look what he did. He simply taped it up and left.
It looks all right to me, Daddy.
Well, it doesn't look all right to me, Daddy.
On top of that, the blundering dolt left a note saying I owe him $3.85. Now, that takes plenty of gall.
But I don't understand, Daddy. Why should you be so upset? Doesn't the Board of Education pay all our school's expenses?
Yes, Harriet, it does. And that's one of the reasons for my crackdown campaign on waste. Mr. Stone, the head of our board, dropped in on me the other day and informed me that any principal who couldn't run his school with an absolute minimum of expenditure would be removed from office.
But, Daddy...
I am not a rich man, Harriet, and you and your mother have to have food and you have to have clothes. Constantly. Well, I can't afford to jeopardize my position here. That's why I've got this ball of tape on my desk. I'm going to fix some other loose wires I saw in the hall myself. Yeah, oh, come in.
Hello, Mr. Conklin. Harriet.
Hi, Miss Brooks.
Samson's waiting for you in my tent, Delilah. A classroom.
Oh, thanks, Miss Brooks. I'll run along now, Daddy. See you at lunchtime.
I'll be counting the minutes. Now then, Miss Brooks, you may step forward to my desk and briefly state your business.
Aye, aye, sir. Miss Constance Brooks reporting for her pencil, sir.
Request denied. You have our permission to withdraw.
But, Your Majesty, Mr. Conklin. I don't understand. This is Pencil Thursday, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But during the past week, 2 board erasers have been lost from your room. However, we'll discuss that as soon as I take care of that wiring in the hall.
But, sir...
Just be a minute. So, answer that, please.
Yes, sir. Hello? Principal's office, Miss Brooks speaking.
You ain't the principal, are you?
No, I ain't. I'm an English teacher. Mr. Conklin's out in the hall at the moment. Who is this?
Oh, this is Larkin of Larkin's Electrical Shop. I let Walter Denton take an echo tape recorder over to your school this morning on a trial basis. All I want to know is, doesn't Mr. Conklin want it or don't he?
Frankly, I doesn't think he do. However, I'll ask him if you want me to.
Yeah, do that. Will you tell him it's only $385?
What?
It's a steal at $385. Tell him that.
Well, I'll step out to the hall, Mr. Larkin, but I'm sure all I'll get is the exercise. Excuse me a minute.
Sure. Just ask him what about the tape job. He probably knows all about it already, maybe. My partner's out for coffee now, but he might have already phoned Mr. Conklin before I got here about it already.
I perfectly understand. Phone the hold, please. I mean, hold the phone. Hang on a minute. Mr. Conklin, Mr. Larkin of Larkin's Electrical Shop is on the phone.
Larkin? What does that pirate want?
It's about the tape...
I know all about it, and you may tell Mr. Larkin for me that I recognize my obligations and will pay, albeit reluctantly, what he asks.
You will pay? But, Mr. Conklin, do you realize it will cost...
I know. $3.85. Tell Larkin to send the bill to Mr. Stone's office at the Board of Education.
But, sir...
Go, Miss Brooks.
Aye, sir. Are you still there, Mr. Larkin?
Sure. What did Mr. Conklin say?
Well, I think he's delirious, but he said you're to mail the bill to Mr. Stone at the Board of Education.
Oh, swell, but I won't have to mail the bill, Miss Brooks. The board is right down a block from my place. I'll bring the bill over to this here Mr. Stone when I go out to lunch. Well, that's about all we got to discuss, I guess. Thanks for everything you've done, Miss Brooks.
Oh, I only done what I had to done. That is, I only done what I should have did. Give me a ring sometime, and we'll go to night school together.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith.
No other dentifrice offers proof of such results.
Proof that Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts.
2 years' research at leading universities using Colgate Dental Cream, hundreds of case histories, makes this the most conclusive proof in all dentifrice history on tooth decay. Conclusive proof that when teeth are brushed with Colgates right after eating,
Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts.
Yes, the toothpaste you use to clean your breath while you clean your teeth now offers a safe, proved way to reduce tooth decay. Modern science shows decay is caused by mouth acids, which are at their worst right after eating. Brushing teeth with Colgates as directed helps remove acids before they harm enamel.
Colgate Dental Cream has been proved to contain all the necessary ingredients, including an exclusive patented ingredient for effective daily dental care.
Get Colgate Dental Cream today. Big economy size, only 59 cents. Always use Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and
help stop tooth decay before it starts.
Remember, no other dentifrice offers proof of such results.
Well, I could hardly believe that Mr. Conklin actually had okayed the requisition for a $385 tape recorder. When lunch period arrived, my bewilderment and I joined my favorite biology teacher, Philip Boynton, in the cafeteria.
It is amazing, Miss Brooks, in view of Mr. Conklin's recent attitude toward expenses. Maybe he's becoming a little more sensible about economizing.
Not Mr. Conklin. He couldn't have changed that fast. Why, he's the only person I know who ever sent in 9 cents to the March of Dimes.
It's certainly contradictory, especially in view of his action toward me this morning.
What did he do to you?
Well, he stormed into my lab, announced he was cutting me off without a penny for frog food.
I didn't know you liked frog food. Oh, forgive me, Mr. Boynton. I shouldn't tease you about your animals. I know how attached you become to some of them. How's McDougal these days?
Mac's fine, thanks. But I'm a little concerned about a new frog I caught in the meadow last week. It's a wonderful specimen. I've named him Shamrock. He weighs almost 2 pounds.
That's a good-sized shamrock.
He's healthy looking enough, but I think he's mentally upset. He's so lethargic. Yes, I'm almost certain that this frog is the victim of some deep-seated frustration. You see, I've practically psychoanalyzed him.
Must have used a very small couch. Maybe he resents being cooped up in a laboratory.
Well, that's the conclusion I reached. He's probably longing for his native surroundings, a pond, flowers, and trees, but before I decide definitely about taking him back to the meadow, I'd like very much for you to meet him, Miss Brooks.
All right, Mr. Boynton, but only on one condition.
What's that?
That you tell him in advance it's strictly platonic. Are you still tinkering with that recorder, Walter?
Yes, ma'am. There's one switch here has me a little confused. I can't tell whether it's on or off. Let's see here. I got it figured out now, I think. Did you have lunch with Mr. Boynton?
Yes, I did. Then I stopped in at the lab to meet one of his friends, a new frog named Shamrock.
Oh, I know Shamrock. Kind of a mope. How'd you like him?
He's all right, I guess, if you like slimy, bulgy-eyed, pot-bellied monsters.
You don't sound very enthusiastic.
Oh, I can tolerate his green little jowls at a distance. It's only when he jumps into my lap that I want to scream.
Pardon me, Miss Brooks. May I come in?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Boynton. It just seems like minutes since last we met.
That's all it's been. Hello, Walter.
Hi, Mr. Boynton. What do you got in that jar?
Shamrock?
Oh, what have you decided about him, Mr. Boynton?
Well, I've come to the conclusion he doesn't belong in a school. I think I'll take him out in the woods somewhere and toss him into a pond.
Toss him into a pond?
Mr. Boynton feels that Shamrock isn't happy here. He just can't seem to adjust to city life.
Well, why not?
I think it's the fault of television. He's probably jealous of Hopalong Cassidy's success.
Oh, it's just that he's lonesome, Walter.
Say, I've got an idea. Maybe we can get him to croak into this microphone, and when we play it back, he'll think it's another frog and fall in love with it.
Now, that's a fine thing to do to a frog. What good's a tape recording on a cold night in the swamp?
No, Walter may have something there, Miss Brooks. It might cheer him up considerably. The only trouble is Shamrock would recognize the call as that of a bullfrog.
Why don't you play him the cry of the wild goose? Maybe that'll send him.
No, what he needs is the croaking of a female. Miss Brooks, I was just wondering.
Well, you can stop right now. I don't want to give myself the best of it, but I don't think I'm his type.
I merely wanted you to hold the jar for a moment, Miss Brooks. You see, by turning down the bass on this recorder and bringing up the treble control, we might fool him.
You could fool me.
Hey, I see what you mean, Mr. Boynton. It'll play back higher. Here, I'll turn it on. Oh, it is on. Just hold him up to the microphone.
Come on, boy. Let's have a nice, clear call. Oh, come on, Shamrock. Let's have it. Right into the mic. What do you suppose is wrong, Miss Brooks?
Maybe he doesn't like the script. What do you think, Walter?
I wish he'd croak.
No, I'm afraid he isn't going to do it, Walter. Better turn it off.
Okay. There, it's off.
Now, that's what I call nice timing.
Pardon me, folks, but I have to speak with Miss Brooks for a moment.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Conklin.
What's wrong, Mr. Conklin? Am I overdrawn on my paper clips?
Word has reached me that you were seen filling your personal fountain pen with school ink. Is this true?
Guilty as charged. But I can't understand this excessive economizing on little things.
Oh,
when
you
you're
can't.
going to...
You can't. Well, you'd better try harder, Miss Brooks. When I've finished tightening up around here, Mr. Stone will have no unnecessary expenditures charged to my account. Hello, what's that on your desk, Miss Brooks?
It's a tape recorder, Mr. Conklin.
A tape recorder?
Yes, why don't you step up and try it, Mr. Conklin?
Yes, why don't you? Your voice should record beautifully.
Well, it has been said that I possess a certain resonance of tone. How does the thing work?
Here, I'll show you. Mr. Conklin will now say a few words about the head of our school board, Mr. Stone.
That's all there is to it.
Then when you push this button here, it plays back. Listen. Mr. Conklin will now say a few words about the head of our school board, Mr. Stone.
Simple, isn't it? Go ahead, Mr. Conklin, say something.
Oh, but I don't have anything prepared.
Just say a few nice words about Mr. Stone.
Yes, something that'll soften the jolt when the bill arrives.
Well, I'll improvise something. I have known Mr. Stone for many years, and in my opinion, he's... Soften the jolt when the bill arrives! What do you mean by that, Miss Brooks?
Please be calm, Mr. Conklin. It was your idea to send the bill to Mr. Stone.
What bill?
The $385 bill for this tape recorder.
$385? I never authorized anything of the sort.
But surely you remember Mr. Larkin calling about it this morning.
So Larkin is at the bottom of this. That scoundrel.
Well, what's wrong with Mr. Larkin?
He's a crook. He ought to be on the rock pile. If I ever get the opportunity, I'll have that conniving wretch run out of town on a rail.
But, Mr. Conklin, you told me yourself to have Mr. Larkin send the bill to Mr. Stone.
I was referring to a bill for some tape he put on my office lamp. A bill for $3.85.
Tennis, anyone?
I'm ruined. When Mr. Stone gets that bill, he'll come charging over here like a wounded buffalo. I can almost hear him growling my name.
Osgood Conklin.
Yes. It's almost as if he were in my presence.
What's the meaning of this bill?
I can picture the scene as vividly as if he was... Oh, hello, Mr. Stone.
Don't hello me, Osgood. What's this $385 bill for?
Well, sir, it's like this. May I present Miss Brooks? She can explain everything.
Well, Miss Brooks?
Likewise, I'm sure. Mr. Stone, this tape recorder was delivered here because, well, may I present Walter Denton? He knows more about the matter than anybody.
Let's have it, Denton.
Yes, sir. Well, when I saw this machine in Larkins, well, I was just sort of standing there and... Have you met Mr. Boynton?
Charles. What's this all about, Boynton?
Well, this is Miss Brooks.
We met!
Now, please, Mr. Stone. I know you have a right to be
I'm
angry.
not angry, Miss Brooks. I'm jealous.
Jealous?
Yes. I wanted to be the first one to introduce tape recorders into our local school system. They're a boon to modern education. I'd give a lot to know the identity of the progressive-minded individual who first wanted one for Madison.
Mr. Stone, it is with great reluctance, born of innate modesty, that I reveal my role in the matter of this tape recorder.
Your role?
When I first got the idea...
When you first got the idea? Why, I told you about using tape recorders in schools 3 months ago.
No, Miss Brooks. Let's not wash our soiled linen in public.
Why not? It can use it.
You see, Mr. Stone, although Miss Brooks is one of our best and oldest teachers...
In point of service, he means.
She still hasn't been able to adjust herself to the rather stern but just discipline with which I operate this institution. Personally, I'm afraid she rather resents me.
How can you say that, Mr. Conklin?
Quiet, you.
Let the boy talk.
Oh, gosh. Only this morning, Miss Brooks recorded a beautiful speech about Mr. Conklin.
Why don't you play it back for Mr. Conklin, Walter?
I'm not interested.
Yeah, I am. Any matter that involves the relationship between one of our principals and a member of the faculty is the board's concern. Play the record, boy.
Yes, sir. Miss Brooks, what do you think of Madison's principal, Osgood Conklin?
He's all right, I guess, if you like slimy, bulgy-eyed, pot-bellied monsters.
What?
I can tolerate his green little jowls at a distance. It's only when he jumps into my lap that I want to scream.
Osgood Conklin.
I made about Mr. Conklin, Walter, you played the wrong one. I mean, find the right one.
I've heard quite enough, thank you.
Well, I haven't. It's very enlightening to know how the faculty feels about you, Osgood.
No, it's all a mistake, sir. We're all very fond of Mr. Conklin. Walter, play the right spot on that tape.
Okay, I think this might be it.
What have you decided about him, Mr. Boynton?
I've come to the conclusion he doesn't belong in a school. I think I'll take him out in the woods somewhere and toss him into a
pond.
That's a mistake, too. Shut it off, Walter.
Don't touch that machine, boy. I want to hear more of this.
What do you think, Walter?
I wish he'd croak.
Oh, ho!
Stop that, Miss Brooks. Mr. Stone, I deeply regret this unseeming exhibition. That this unholy triumvirate should choose to expose their flagrant disrespect for me in your presence is a cruel blow indeed. They know how I admire and respect you, sir. How I cherish your friendship.
Oh, be quiet, Osgood! Boy, play that machine again. I want to hear everything that's on those records.
Yes, sir. Mr. Conklin will now say a few words about the head of our school board, Mr. Stone.
He's a crook! He ought to be on the rock pile. If I ever get the opportunity, I'll have that conniving wretch run out of town on a rail.
Are my ears playing tricks on me? Did I just hear what I thought I heard?
Play it again, Walter. We can all dance to it this time.
Please, Mr. Stone, your ears were playing tricks on you. This is all a horrible nightmare of misunderstanding.
Not another word, you slimy, bulgy-eyed monster.
You forgot pot-bellied.
You keep out of this. Mr. Stone. I'm going back to the board and file my report. You've not heard the end of this incident, Mr. Osgood, ex-Principal Conklin.
Well, Miss Brooks?
Suicide, anyone?
Eve Arden as our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment, but first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Better than a soap, better than a liquid, Luster Cream is a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair 3 ways lovelier, fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight, yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, we all made a hurried trip to the Board of Education and finally convinced Mr. Stone that he had merely been the victim of a comedy of errors and not any malicious mischief. Accordingly, when we returned to school, Mr. Conklin was so relieved that, although he held me responsible for the incident, he only loaded me down with enough extra bookwork to keep me from walking home from school with Mr. Boynton for the next 3 weeks. When I returned to my classroom, Walter Denton greeted me at the door.
Well, Miss Brooks, I got the machine all fixed. Now you can make the right speech about Mr. Conklin and getting good with him again. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good. I'll start the interview. Miss Brooks, what do you think of Madison's principal, Osgood Conklin?
He's all right, I guess, if you like slimy, bulgy-eyed, pot-bellied monsters.
Next week, tune into another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis, Lester White, and Joe Quillen, with the music of Wilbur Hatch under the direction of Maurice Carlton.
Doctors prove Palmolive soap can bring you a lovelier complexion in 14 days. Yes, 36 leading skin specialists proved in tests on 1,285 different women that Palmolive soap facials using nothing but Palmolive brought new complexion beauty to 2 women out of 3. Just wash your face 3 times daily with Palmolive soap, each time for 60 seconds, massaging Palmolive's beauty lather onto your skin. Then rinse. So start your Palmolive facials today. Remember, doctors prove Palmolive soap can bring you lovelier complexion in 14 days.
Our American economic system accounts for the highest standard of living in the world. It has brought more people, more jobs, better pay, shorter hours, and more purchasing power. But you can help make it still better by learning more about our American system. Write today for the free booklet, The Miracle of America, which explains simply how, by working together, a still better living can be had by all. The address, Box 10, Times Square Station, New York City.
For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North Tuesday evening over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at this same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden.
It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks under the direction of Al Lewis. Well, most school teachers have to get up around 7 in the morning. But our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School, received a call last Thursday night from her principal, Osgood Conklin.
And as usual, Mr. Conklin had an extremely cheerful bulletin for me. I was to be in his office for a meeting on the following day at 7:30. Friday morning, therefore, found me sitting down to breakfast with my landlady at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, Connie.
Yes, Miss Davis.
Oh, isn't it terribly early to be up and aroused?
I wondered if you're as sleepy as I am.
Connie, I said I wonder if you're as sleepy as I am. Connie, wake up.
What's the matter? Who came in?
I didn't mean to upset you, dear. It's just that your head was slowly falling into your plate.
Oh, that would have made a nice headline. Teacher found face down in bowl of oatmeal.
How did you know that was oatmeal? I wanted to surprise you. That's why I covered it with cream and sugar. Why I even sprayed a half bottle of sweet ale on it so you couldn't tell by the smell.
Yum, yum, just the way I like it.
What's this meeting in Mr. Conklin's office about, Connie?
Well, as far as I could gather on the phone, Mr. Conklin found out that the mayor of our fair city is going to the opening of the Civic Symphony Orchestra season in the park today and will be driving past Madison with his entire entourage.
But what has that got to do with you?
Our beloved principal has decided that we ought to think up some stunts that might impress his honor. His suggestion was that students and faculty members all line up on the school steps.
Well, that isn't a very original plan, is it?
That's what I thought. I have a much more spectacular one.
What's yours, Connie?
Well, when the man should be found sitting on top of our 75-foot flagpole.
That does sound spectacular. But where would all the teachers and students be?
Where else? Shaking the pole.
The meeting is called to order. I will now call the roll of this committee. First, Miss Brooks. I said Miss Brooks. Wake up, sleepyhead. Miss Brooks! I'm taking the roll.
Well, go ahead. I've had breakfast. Here, sir. Wide awake and raring to go. Yes, sir.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and mark you present, Miss Brooks. Next, the chairman of our entertainment committee, Mr. Philip Boynton.
Oh, here, Mr. Conklin.
Next, the editor of our school paper, invited to this meeting through the insistence of his class president, Harriet Conklin. Walter Denton.
Present almighty ruler of Madison's destiny, should you decree that I am to contribute my meager wisdom to this august body, you have but to say the word, and I shall make available my every resource. Tap the well springs of hither...
Oh, Briar! Now, to proceed with the business at hand.
You didn't call my name, Daddy. I'm here.
That goes without saying, my child. Now then, as you know, Mayor Duff and sundry other city officials will pass Madison High at approximately 2:30 this afternoon. Our problem is to show them that we at Madison are civic-minded and proud of their proximity. Any suggestions?
I have one. Why don't we have the gym team line up on the campus, and as the mayor drives past, they could start a series of flip-flops.
The gym team? No, it doesn't tweak me. Not arresting enough.
I could put on my bathing suit and do some handsprings with them.
Please, Miss Brooks. I want something that will make His Honor sit up and take notice.
You didn't let me finish, Mr. Conklin. After my last handspring, I'd hurl myself under his car.
Well, now we're getting somewhere.
Anyone else have any lucid thoughts on the subject?
Well, I have the tiniest glimmer of a germ of an idea, Mr. Conklin.
Fine, Denton. Boil it down to a half hour and let's have it.
I don't think Mayor Duff will really appreciate anything we try to do if he's just driving by. What we should do is make him stop and get out of his car.
And how do you propose to accomplish this feat?
Easy. Roadblock. Then, when his car is stopped, we simply yank open his door, and then one of us can reach in and grab him by... I have another idea that might be better.
You've had your quota, Denton. Sit down.
I've got a super idea, Daddy. Why don't we all line up on the campus, and then when the mayor's car approaches, you and Miss Brooks can join hands and lead us in a monster square dance.
And to think that for lo, these 16 years I've showered naught but love upon you. Down, girl. As is my wont, I shall have to put forth the only feasible plan. I want the entire student body and faculty to assemble at 2:20 this afternoon under the flagpole. When the mayor's car draws nigh, our entire school band will step to the curb and strike up a stirring melody.
Oh, frankly, Mr. Conklin, I think Miss Brooks' idea to have a gymnastic exhibition is much more colorful than just having the band play.
Oh, you do. Well, this meeting is still governed by democratic procedure, Denton. We'll simply put it to a vote. All in favor of Miss Brooks' idea, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. No. All in favor of my idea, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no.
No.
My idea is unanimously carried.
That was the closest election since Alf Landon.
Meeting's adjourned.
If you say so, Daddy.
Good day, sir.
Bye, Daddy.
Yeah, bye. Oh, before you go, Miss Brooks, I would like to remind you that Mayor Duff has quite a reputation as a music lover. And if our band is going to salute him, their musical instruments must be in perfect condition.
Yes, sir.
You will assign someone in your class to see that each instrument is cleaned and polished until it's gleaming. That's all, Miss Brooks. Dismiss.
Yes, sir. Come on, Walter.
Oh, farewell, Mr. Conklin. And should you ever again be in need of an unbiased opinion from the editor of the Madison Monitor, please feel free to call.
Dismiss!
Well, let's see now. Who can I get to polish these instruments? Any volunteers in my immediate vicinity?
Well, I'd like to help you out, Miss Brooks, but frankly, I got a little history homework to do in my first class.
History homework? But your first class is English.
Yeah, I know. But when I sit behind Stretch Snodgrass with my English book propped up and the history notes underneath it, well, my English teacher would have to be a cock-eyed wonder to be able to tell whether I was... Hey, you're my English teacher.
Yes, I am, more's the pity. But you've given me an idea, Walter. Stretch Snodgrass could probably do a very good job on those instruments.
But isn't Stretch a little behind in his work?
Oh, I don't know. Just a few terms, maybe. He did a very good job of washing my windows last month. And even if he isn't a mental giant, at least he's industrious.
And even if he isn't industrious, at least he's adjacent. That's Stretch taking a drink at the water fountain.
Oh, good. I'll talk to him right now. You go on into class, Walter. You'll need a little time to set up your history notes.
Thanks, Miss Brooks. I'll see you later.
Well, good morning, Stretch.
Oh, hi, Miss Brooks. You getting ready to smarten up all our little brains?
Sort of, Stretch. But you can have a little holiday from studying if you will do something else for me this morning.
Well, sure, Miss Brooks. What does this other job entail?
It entails cleaning up all the musical instruments so the school band will make a nice, shiny appearance this afternoon. Mr. Conklin wants the job done in a hurry.
Well, sure, Miss Brooks. I'd be happy to help out. I've been studying pretty hard lately anyway. My girlfriend, Susie Prentice, helped me with my homework last night. Boy, she's a whiz at English.
Yes, I know. She's the first person named Prentice I ever met who spelled her name with 3 S's.
Yeah, Susie's different, all right. She sure learned me plenty about our mother's tongue.
Well, that should come in very handy if you're going to open the delicatessen. But, Stretch, if you'll take the instruments down to the basement for a good cleaning, I'll pick them up during lunch hour.
You better not wait till lunch hour, Miss Brooks. You see, between 12 and 1, I got to take care of Mr. Fisher's pawn shop across the street so that he can go out and grab a bite. You better come down right after your first class.
All right, Stretch. But what's this about the pawn shop? I thought you worked in your father's pet store.
Oh, Dad and I had a little run-in. He said I wasn't worth the money he was giving me, and I said I was.
What was he giving you?
80 cents a week. Anyway, he said until I could prove I could earn some money someplace else, I was on prohibition.
Prohibition?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I better get those instruments now.
You do that, and thank you, Andrew Volstead.
Well, here they are, Miss Brooks, all cleaned up.
Oh, let's see. Stretch. These drum heads are all warped and split. And look at this slide trombone. Doesn't even slide. And these trumpets are all rusty.
Rusty?
Stretch, how did you clean these instruments?
Well, the same way I clean the windows, Miss Brooks. Soap and water.
Soap and water?
Sure. I just dumped all them instruments in this big tub and scrubbed like mad. Then I hung them over this electric heater till they was dry. Here, feel this saxophone, Miss Brooks. It's good and dry, ain't it?
Dry, yes, but good it ain't.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith. No other dentifrice offers proof of such results. Proof that Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts. 2 years' research at leading universities using Colgate Dental Cream, hundreds of case histories, makes this the most conclusive proof in all dentifrice history on tooth decay. Conclusive proof that when teeth are brushed with Colgate right after eating, Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts. Yes, the toothpaste you use to clean your breath while you clean your teeth now offers a safe, proved way to reduce tooth decay. Modern science shows decay is caused by mouth acids, which are at their worst right after eating. Brushing teeth with Colgate as directed helps remove acids before they harm enamel. Colgate Dental Cream has been proved to contain all the necessary ingredients, including an exclusive patented ingredient for effective daily dental care. Get Colgate Dental Cream today. Big economy size, only 59 cents. Always use Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay before it starts. Remember, no other dentifrice offers proof of such results.
Well, I didn't know quite how to break the news about the instruments to Mr. Conklin. For while he had been very fond of Shep Fields and his rippling rhythm, I wasn't quite sure how he'd react to Stretch Snodgrass and his soggy symphony. When lunch period arrived, I determined to share my dilemma with Mr. Boynton for 2 very good reasons. One, if we could just put our heads together for a few minutes, I felt the problem would be solved. And 2, if we could just put our heads together, I didn't care whether the problem was solved or not. On my way to the biology lab, however, I was intercepted by Stretch's girlfriend, Susie Prentice, a cute little redhead with a baby face and a brain to match.
Excuse me, Miss Brooks, but if it isn't too discommoding, could I commune with you for a jiffy?
Well, how does that go again?
I'd like to commune with you. That's short for communicate. You know, have a little chat, or as the French say, tote-a-tote.
Tote-a-tote?
Isn't that the way they say in France?
Only in southern France. Tote-a-tote that barge, lift-a-lift that bale.
Miss Brooks, I need your advice about something. I'm in quite a predicament. It's about Stretch.
Stretch?
Yes, ma'am. When I first started to feel the way I felt about him when we first started dating, I thought it was just an infatuation.
An infatuation?
Yes, ma'am. But as the weeks went by, I was very surprised to see that he didn't begin to plawl on me.
To plawl on you?
Well, you see, I know that Stretch is a good athlete and all that, but it's mentally I'm worried about. Miss Brooks, what do you think of Stretch mentally?
Mentally, I think Stretch is a Lilliputian. Put another L in that word.
There's
There's enough owls in Lilliputian now.
She did it.
You know, I'll never forget the first time we met. Do you believe in love at first sound?
At first sound? Don't you mean love at first sight, Susie?
We were in a dark room. A bunch of us was and honestly, the first time I heard Stretch's voice, it gave me goose pimples.
Susie, it gave me goose pimples.
Gosh, when did you play post office with Stretch?
I was just correcting you, Susie, and I'll be more helpful another time, dear. Right now, I've got my own problem to solve.
What's wrong, Miss Brooks?
I've got to get some new musical instruments by the time Mayor Duff drives by the school with his entourage.
Is that what Mayor Duff is driving by the school with?
At least.
Well, you don't have to worry about musical instruments, Miss Brooks. Stretch is working in Fisher's pawn shop across the street during lunch. I'm sure Mr. Fisher won't mind if we borrow a couple of the instruments he's got in there.
Say, that's not a bad idea, Susie. Will you ask him about it?
Well, sure. But why do we have to borrow the instruments? What become of the ones the school used to have?
Used to have?
We used to have some?
Well, we used to, but we aren't have them now, hardly. Now, you better hurry over and talk to Stretch about those instruments. I've got to see Mr. Boynton.
All right, Miss Brooks. Toodle.
Toodle. I'd like to join that girl. Seems like an awfully nice world she's living in. It's me, Mr. Boynton. Are you busy?
Oh, not a bit, Miss Brooks. Come on in. Why, I hope the ceremonies go well today. I'm quite fond of Mayor Duff, you know. I voted for him in the last election against Adrian Himmelstoss.
Me, too. I didn't think Himmelstoss was anything.
And Mr. Conklin's a great fan of the mayor's, too. In fact, he told me a little while ago he'd give anything if he could be riding in the mayor's car as they drove past the school.
I'd like to be in it, too. Then I wouldn't have to explain to Mr. Conklin about Stretch and the instruments.
Well, what happened to the instruments?
All I can tell you, Mr. Boynton, is that whatever you play on them, out comes I'm forever blowing bubbles. With real bubbles.
I don't understand.
Stretch washed them all in soap and water. They're useless. His girlfriend, Susie Prentice, said she was going over to the pawn shop and borrow some others, but I don't trust Susie's memory, especially when Stretch is around. We'd better go over there and check on those instruments. Mr. Conklin wants the band to make a big impression on the mayor.
Well, I can't quite follow this, Miss Brooks, but I'll be happy to help out in whatever way I can. First, though, I'd like to ask you something, Miss Brooks.
Yes. I mean... What is it?
Do you think it'd be all right if I played with the band this afternoon?
You? But, Mr. Boynton, we may not have enough instruments to go around as it is.
Oh, I have my own instrument. It's right here in the desk. See? A ukulele.
Well, Joe, college.
I used to play it quite a bit back in college.
You did?
There was one song I was particularly fond of. Oh, let's see. How did that go again? Oh, I know. Somebody loves me. I wonder who. I wonder who it can... If you go for kissing, cutie, you could be my sweet patootie.
Mr. Boynton. Did that come out of you?
Well, sure. Somebody loves me. I wish I knew who it can be. Worries. If I had a girl to squeeze, I would burn my BVDs. For every girl who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe. Come on, Miss Brooks, join in.
Okay. You were meant to be my lovin'. We would make a lovely pair. I'm so round and you're so square.
wonder who. Maybe it's...
No more pencils, no more books.
Pretty soon, no more Miss Brooks. What is the meaning of this scandalous conduct?
Well, Mr. Conklin, we were just
Silence. Miss Brooks, to you was entrusted the task of presenting our school orchestra at its best, to impress upon the mayor the seriousness of purpose of Madison's musical aggregation. And what do I find? A jam session in the biology lab.
It's my fault, Mr. Conklin. I was
You
only...
should be ashamed of yourself, Boynton. A grown man fiddling with this cheese box.
A ukulele is a musical instrument, sir.
It's a cheese box. And what have you to say for yourself, Miss Brooks?
Pass the crackers. I mean, we were just leaving, Mr. Conklin.
Perhaps you'd better.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Conklin.
Musical instrument indeed. Boom, 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 R. I said R-A. R-A-G-G. R-A-G-G-M-O-P-T, ragmop.
Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you? Oh, it's you, Susie.
Hi, Stretch. Gee, you sound just like a regular salesman. Real sophisticated.
Well, thanks, Susie. Of course, it's kind of tough to be sophisticated in this place, surrounded by nothing but secondhand junk.
Oh, it ain't all junk. Those musical instruments in the window look brand new. And that reminds me, Stretch, I told Miss Brooks that we try to borrow them for the school orchestra this afternoon.
We couldn't use those instruments. They were hocked by Daffy Delaney,
Daffy Delaney?
the band leader. He had kind of a Spike Jones orchestra, only louder. That's why they went broke. The music was too noisy.
Well, what's the way they played got to do with
Well, don't you see? Those are all trick instruments. When you press certain keys on them, all kinds of screwy noises come out.
Gosh, well, that wouldn't be any good for the mayor. He likes symphonic music. What's he going to do now?
Gee, I don't know. Wait a minute. Maybe we could borrow some instruments from Hurley's music store around the corner.
It wouldn't hurt to ask.
Come on. Mr. Fisher will be back from lunch any minute. It won't do no harm to let the store alone for a few seconds. We can go out the back way as quicker through the alley.
Well, if you think it's all right to leave the store, Stretch.
Oh, Stretch. Stretch Snodgrass. That's funny. The place is empty. I wonder where Stretch is.
He probably took some instruments down to the laundromat. Well, we can't wait for him, Mr. Boynton. We'll just take whatever instruments we find in the window. I'll tell Mr. Fisher about it later.
Oh, he's only got about 5 or 6 instruments here.
Yes, but one of them's a tuba, and there's a trombone and a trumpet. You'd be surprised what a good brass section can do. Come on, Mr. Boynton. We're going to serenade the mayor like he's never been serenaded before.
Well, Miss Brooks, Mr. Boynton, I see you've got the students all lined up.
Yes, Mr. Conklin.
According to the schedule, the mayor's car should be only 3 or 4 blocks away. Gad, how I wish I could be riding in it. Great man, Mayor Duffy.
Oh, yes, indeed, Mr. Conklin.
Yes. I'm going to get the band together and lead them right up here to the curb. Get everyone quiet, Mr. Boynton.
Yes, sir. Now, quiet down, boys and girls. Quiet.
Gee, I've been looking all over for you, Miss Brooks. I tried to borrow some instruments from Hurley's music store, but he wouldn't give them to me without no deposit. Susie's still over there arguing with him.
Well, she doesn't have to bother, Stretch. Mr. Boynton and I took all the instruments we need out of Mr. Fisher's window.
What? But those are trick instruments. They were hocked by Daffy Delaney.
Stretch, you mean those instruments can't be played?
Well, they can be played all right, but I don't guarantee what'll come out, especially the tuba. When you press the middle valve down, a charge of explosive goes off inside the horn.
Oh, no. I've got to get to that band before Mr. Conklin...
All right, places, everybody. Step back, trumpet. You, trombone, get a little closer.
Mr. Conklin, I've got to talk to you right away, sir. It's about... What are you doing with that tuba?
I'm going to play it, Miss Brooks.
Oh, but, sir, you can't.
Oh, I can't, can't
No.
I? Well, for your information, Miss Brooks, I have been playing the tuba since before you were...
Since you were in your early 20s.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I have.
Well, play it in good health.
Here comes the mayor's car, Daddy.
Oh, thank you, dear, thank you. Now remember, orchestra, on the last 4 bars, you all drop out for my solo. Oh, Your Honor, wait a moment, Your Honor.
Oh, look. Look, the cars are slowing down.
Ready, everyone? Remember now, play softly and with great dignity. A 1, a 2.
Better take your solo.
Yes, all right, Harriet.
Miss Brooks, what happened?
Your daddy got his wish, Harriet. He's now riding in the mayor's car.
Arden as our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment, but first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives you Kay Daumit's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Better than a soap, better than a liquid. Luster Cream is a dainty cream shampoo. Leaves hair 3 ways lovelier. Fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen. Soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight, yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, the explosion during Mr. Conklin's solo was nothing compared to the one after the mayor had passed by. The 3 of us, Mr. Conklin, myself, and the tuba, had just entered his office.
I hold you completely responsible for this disgraceful exhibition, Miss Brooks.
But, Mr. Conklin, honestly,
the culprit who set off that giant firecracker when I began to play the tuba must be apprehended and punished.
But, sir, there was no culprit. You did it yourself.
Oh, I did. And how, may I ask, did I accomplish this miracle? By pressing this little valve here?
No, sir, not that one.
Then was it this one here?
No, sir, not that one.
Oh, then it must have been this one.
Yes, sir, that's the one.
Next week, tune in to another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written by Al Lewis, Joe Quillen, and Lester White.
For a beauty bath that brings you glamour from head to toe, get bath-size Palmolive soap.
Yes, ladies, for a velvet smooth beauty lather that caresses your skin, leaves your whole body glowing with the warm blush of fragrant loveliness, enjoy a beauty bath with bath-size Palmolive. It's perfect for your tub or shower. Just the gentlest massage over your body creates a glorious lather that leaves your skin delightful.
Yes, for the most luxurious bath you've ever had, get big bath-size Palmolive soap.
For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evening over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at the same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.